I understand we have a real treat. An interesting and provocative viewpoint on the broadcast advertising business. A man who has been seen or heard every day by at least 30 million people. For the movie cartoons, he provided the voices of Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, Sylvester the Cat, Tweety, Woody Woodpecker, and I made the awful faux pas. 5 years ago, he formed his own company to create commercials. He states his business philosophy as follows. It is our possibly naive theory that the American consumer, while no intellectual, is not a moron. He has the ability to select and to reject. We appeal to his ability to select, and we use entertainment, imagination, and comic invention to communicate an atmosphere and a reason for his selection of a given product. May I present to you Mel Blanc, president of Mel Blanc Associates.
What's up, Doc?
For my second number this afternoon. And then I wrote.
Oh, I thought I saw a putty cat. I did see a putty cat.
You bet he saw a putty cat. That putty cat is me suffering succotash. I get you wet?
Yeah.
I just did that to let you know who the hell I am. You know, I'd like to break character for a while. I only give a few talks each year, and I generally use the time to explain what is happening in advertising today on as serious a level as I can. The following statements taken from 3 television commercials should demonstrate to us where advertising is going. I thought I saw a dove fly into Marge Johnson's window. Tristan is like taking your sinuses to Arizona. Dippity-doo, dippity-doo, dippity-doo. In order to fully understand the foregoing statements, it is necessary to investigate the past centuries of groping and maturing that led us to this enlightened age of communication. Believe this or not, the first advertising was done by a sexually frustrated caveman. His initial attempt at advertising for a mate was done by standing in front of his cave and shouting, "I want a woman! I gotta have a woman!" This understandably produced no results. So he took the creative approach, advertising with impact. He picked up a rock and he gave the next girl he saw a smack on the head. Then he dragged her to his cave and fulfilled his desires. As primitive as this was, it has been said that advertising has changed very little since that time. The next noteworthy man to come along in the development of creative advertising was Moses. Moses figured he'd have to do some pretty fancy promoting if he wanted Pharaoh to let his people go. So for his first presentation, he turned his staff into a snake. But Pharaoh was unimpressed because he knew that most advertising staffs turn into snakes every Monday morning. But Moses kept plaguing Pharaoh so long that he finally agreed to free his people. Of course, Moses had some pretty good help, like Cecil B. DeMille, Charlton Heston, and God. And besides, his methods would be obsolete today. I mean, how would it sound if an agency created a spot which said, "Smoke Winston or we'll kill your firstborn child"? In the early years of the century, another important step in creative advertising was taken. This time it was by the Commonwealth Edison Company. It was the very first demonstration commercial. The commercial showed a step-by-step account of Thomas Edison in his Menlo Park laboratory in the midst of one of his important inventions. It showed Edison blowing glass into a pear-shaped bulb. He carefully inserted a thin tungsten filament into the glass bulb and sucked all the air out of it. Next, he attached a strip of copper to the bottom of the bulb and plugged the whole thing into an electrical outlet. Finally, he picked up the bulb and said, "Hello." Soon, two new media were introduced, radio and television. At the same time, music began to emerge as an advertising device. The first jingle I can remember was sung by a group called the Cherry Sisters. The product was Manischewitz wine. The jingle accomplished a great deal. Not only did Manischewitz sales go up, but the Cherry Sisters changed their names and became big stars. You now know them as Ronald Reagan and Vincent Price. Advertising quickly saw the advantage of entertainment devices and commercials, and then took the logical progression from music to humor. Humor is now functioning as an important part of advertising and has brought us a long way from the shouting caveman. Several elements are needed before a humorous advertising campaign will succeed on a large scale. The first thing you need is a product. For convenience, we'll invent one. A new toothpaste called Scrape. Next, we need an advertising agency. If the agency wants to kick off a promotion for a new product, they'll often call in a psychologist to interview people. This psychologist told the agency that the Scrape commercial should be designed to appeal to children. This piece of news was well received by the agency, who have always geared their commercials to children, particularly their beer commercials. But how does one appeal to children? Humor. Here's the first commercial.
Oh, hello there. This is Milton Flirt for Scrape. We're at the home of Mr. and Mrs. Clyde Suckthumb and their little son, Homer. Homer was in a group that used New Blue Scrape for 3 years. Will you tell us about it, Homer?
Yes, I will.
All right, tell us, Homer, what happened after 3 years of brushing with Scrape?
Oh, I had to have my teeth capped.
Oh, you are making a funny, are you not, Homer?
Yes, I am.
All right, seriously, Homer, tell us what Scrape taught you.
It taught me that grown-up people are bad, and if I brush my teeth with New Blue Scrape, grown-up people will be afraid of me.
Oh, you hear that, kiddies? Now, why will grown-up people be afraid of you if you use New Blue Scrape, Homer?
Because I'll have new blue teeth.
Oh, but seriously, friends, pick up some New Blue Scrape at your drugstore. If your druggist doesn't carry it, do something clever like throwing up on his prescription counter. Oh, my.
Well, the Scrape people decide that it's too way out, and the commercial is rewritten and re-recorded.
Homer, why aren't you using New Blue Scrape?
Scrape?
Scrape.
Scrape?
Yes, Scrape toothpaste. Scrape is great.
Great? Scrape?
Right, Scrape. S-C-R-A-P. Scrape.
Oh, Scrape.
That's right, Scrape.
What was that name?
Scrape.
Scrape?
That's right, Scrape.
Just as everything seems perfect, you read in the trades that the agency has lost the Scrape account. And their psychologist has been arrested for appealing to children. Well, Scrape appoints a new agency, which immediately calls Mel Blanc Associates. The agency is Schlunt, and Gundelfinger. Gundelfinger, of course, is married to a Schlunt. Schlunt, and Gundelfinger want to go the humor route. And realizing their lack of experience in the field has called us to help. Clifton Schlunt, the account exec, after rambling on for 20 minutes about how he has always been a fan of mine, announces that he would like us to work out a campaign for him on spec. Perhaps I should define spec. Spec is what someone does now for nothing on the promise that he will get more than he deserves later on. It's also a small piece of dirt. Well, in spite of my feelings about spec jobs, I agree to a meeting. As I enter the agency's conference room, I am introduced. The agency principals are seated around the table. At the head of the table is the chairman of the board, Fairfax Schlunt. Fairfax is 124 years old. Every now and then he wanders into a broom closet and starts giggling. He makes the big decisions. Looks a little like this. My name is Fairfax Schlunt, and I make all the big decisions. Who the hell is Mel Blanc? To his right is Clifton Schlunt, the one who called us. He is Fairfax's great-grandson and the account executive for Scrape. Clifton has always wanted to be a radio announcer, but he talks like this. So he has never been able to become an announcer. He just sits there cursing Ed Reimers. Next to him is Marcel Gundelfinger, the agency's art director. He's very sensitive and he just wins gobs of awards. Clifton introduces me. People, you've all met Mel Blanc from Mel Blanc Associates. They're going to create a humorous radio campaign for our Scrape account. And Marcel says, I resent him. I have my own ideas about handling Scrape. I want to take a full-page ad in Strength and Health. 4 color jobs showing a tube of Scrape nestling in a seashell on the beach, surrounded by 4 strapping men clad only in seaweed. Might even throw in a flounder or 2. Sitting next to Marcel is Hans Huberman, the creative director, who looks at me and says, in the first place, I do not believe in humor. There's nothing funny about advertising. Advertising is the conquering of minds and overcoming the public's will, by force, if necessary. And if we did want humor, we wouldn't go outside. We go outside for nothing. Occasionally, we go outside for a cheese Danish, but that's all. I know as much about humor as the next guy. I happen to know several very, very dirty jokes. Why, when I used to work in this Argentine advertising agency, I was known as the Pinky Lee of the Pampas. But mine is basically a scientific mind. And my idea for Scrape will be the first campaign created strictly from scientific research and data. Achtung! I will now play you my campaign idea. I want a woman. I gotta have a woman. Well, this brings us to the present. What I like to call the age of confusion in radio. It's appalling to me to find that most advertising on radio was created and produced without the slightest understanding of the medium. I'd now like to show you several approaches to radio advertising we have worked with successfully, and I demonstrate them for one purpose only: to show you the variety of creative approaches that can be utilized when you set out to entertain as you sell. Heading up the list of creative platforms which we avoid like the plague are singing jingles, followed closely by hard sell, straight copy, slice of life, fantasy, and demonstration. That is, we avoid these garden variety approaches unless they can be used with tongue-in-cheek, as we did for Pepsodent toothbrushes on this demonstration commercial.
In the interest of dental hygiene, the Pepsodent toothbrush people will now demonstrate the wrong way and the right way to brush your teeth. That is the wrong way, and that is the right way.
It's a slice of life commercials that really confuse me. I always thought slice of life meant a believable segment of everyday experience. Well, I don't believe anything in those Procter & Gamble commercials. I mean, I had a grandmother, but she absolutely never worried about bad breath. She had bad breath, but she never worried about it. Did you ever notice that in every Prel commercial, someone drops a tube of it on the floor? If that's a slice of life, it only shows that Prel cleans your hair but louses up your coordination. Anyway, we've created the one true slice of life, a slice of human dialogue for Fidelity Philadelphia Bank.
Yes, that's right. Headaches, terrible headaches. They would start in my knees, and then go all the way up to my face.
Didn't aspirin help you?
Aspirin? Are you kidding? The only thing that helped was screaming.
Screaming?
Right. If you scream loud enough, a neighbor would punch you in the mouth. It made you forget your headache.
Oh.
But then I found a product that worked.
Yeah, what was that?
Fidelity Philadelphia Trust. I opened a checking account up there.
You mean a checking account at Fidelity helped your headaches?
See, the reason I had these headaches was that, I was broke all the time.
Oh, you mean you were kind of a spendthrift?
Yeah. I'd see a sale, for instance, on kidney beans, and I'd buy 40 pounds. Now, that's wasteful, you know what I mean. And when my bills came in for rent and water, I didn't have any money left.
No, but with your checking account at Fidelity, you could keep track of your expenses, right?
Yeah, it's like, having your own bookkeeper, for instance, and it gives me a great sense of identity.
How's that?
Well, my name's printed right on a check, see? There.
Oh, so you suggest that...
All people with headaches should go to the one-stop bank, Fidelity, and open up a checking account. It's better than taking aspirin. I mean, you could crumple up a couple of checks, I guess, and take them with a glass of water, maybe, and then they would cure the common cold, for instance.
Well, you don't swallow the checks?
Well, you'd have to mark them void first, for instance.
I love satire and regard it as the most sophisticated form of humorous advertising. But it has value alone when the satire puts forth an effective advertising concept. I believe we achieved this successfully in a campaign created for a major eastern dairy, Martin Century Farms.
The sun is high in the sky when Senor Valdez come down the mountainside with his burro down into the town. Senor Valdez go into restaurant and say hello to all his friends.
Hello, all my friends.
Senor Valdez is tired and thirsty from trip down mountainside, so he orders something to drink. A nice...
Glass of Martin Century Farm milks, please.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on. What's with this milk business?
It's richer with that straight from the farm quality.
Listen, Valdez, you're not supposed to drink milk.
Oh, but this is different. Martin Century Farm's milk is milk that people who don't drink milk drink.
I don't care about...
Look, I am the one what schlepped the heavy bags down the mountain, right?
Right.
12 times a week, up and down the mountain, up and down the mountain, the rain, the snow, or the dark of night.
Okay.
You drink what you want, and I drink what I want. And I want Martin Century Farm's milk.
Okay.
By the way, what's in those heavy bags I carry down the mountain?
I don't know.
Me too.
The next commercial I'd like to play is one of a series we created for Avis Rent-A-Car. Most of you probably didn't know that we are directly responsible for Avis's advertising campaign. Well, it's the truth. Until they hired us, Avis was number one.
We are situated on a main highway counting the passing cars that have been rented from Avis.
3,000.
The results promise to be exciting, this because of Avis's vacation travel plan. For $99, you can leave your car at home and travel in a new Plymouth or other late model car from Avis. There is no charge for mileage, and the price includes a tank full of gas and dependable insurance.
Here are the final figures.
The figures are in. 30,283 cars were not rented from Avis. 694 cars were rented from Avis. Avis has done it again, a solid 2%.
This year, my company will create several $1 million in new radio budgets by exciting advertisers about the use of the medium. A typical example is Bachman Jacks. We were hired to create 4 radio spots for this Eastern manufacturer of snack food items, and the original air budget was $100,000. By the time we completed the campaign, the number of spots had grown to 8 and the budget to $400,000.
Pardon me, is this seat taken?
No, help yourself.
Thank you.
He's eating Bachman pretzel rods.
Look at her pretending not to notice my Bachman pretzel rods. I think I'll take a big bite out of one.
Do you have to make so much noise when you eat? I've got a terrible headache.
Sorry. She's just dying for me to offer her one of those big jumbo pretzel rods.
Do you live around here?
No, matter of fact, I don't. You?
Oh, I was born and raised in Pennsylvania.
A little bit of a Freudian slip there, wasn't it?
I couldn't kick myself. Now he knows I want him to offer me one of his Bachman pretzel rods.
Well, there's only one of these jumbo pretzel rods left in the bag. I'll hold it up, let the sunlight play off it. That ought to drive her out of her mind.
Listen, I can't stand it anymore. Would you please?
Should a gentleman offer a lady a Bachman pretzel rod? This gentleman didn't. Bachman pretzel rods are too good to share, but maybe someday. If we have a pet project, it's our campaign for Hebrew National Meats. This product has a lot going against it. First of all, it sells for nearly twice the price of the competition. Our campaign had 2 goals. The first was to play down the ethnic aspect of the product. The second was to play the high quality for all it was worth with pompous self-satire. Our first idea for handling the ethnic problem was simple. Change the name to Gentile National. A year later, we got another crack at the account. Here's the result.
The Representatives' Lounge of the United Nations has seen some of the world's most influential people. Important discussions are said to be held here 24 hours a day. Let's eavesdrop for a moment.
Hebrew National Salami, Jag hörde fullt ut av knöckwurst, det är billigt.
Och som tar i lukta Bridget Bardot,
Bridget Bardot, no yum, Bridget Bardot, goody. Canadore, chi connare vedere pure beef, sai?
Oh, l'ancinto, who make a pure beef?
I colore, Hebrew National, dome, sai? No, però voglio, tu insieme al lunch, però
Oh, cinto, a supper dinner.
People who have tasted life have tasted Hebrew National Salami, Franks, and Knockwurst, available at leading markets everywhere.
Well, in closing, I wish you all my very best. And in the words of Clifton Schlunt,
That's all. Who the hell is Mel Blanc?
During the month since Mel Blanc spoke to the SRA, Mel Blanc Associates have been involved in many interesting campaigns. We felt that this second side would be put to excellent use with a sampling of several of their more current efforts.
Radish. R-A-D-I-S-H. Radish.
The man you just heard is America's spelling champ and idol of hundreds, Nick Benyon. Good to have you here, Nick.
It's fortuitous for me to be here.
Aha. Tell us why you feel you're ahead in a Ford.
Because of the features in the 66 models. Take the stereo tape player.
Yes.
After a rough workout in the reference room of the library, I drive home in my Ford and turn on a stereo tape. It plays over 70 minutes of uninterrupted music on a multi-speaker system.
Yes, it's available on Ford, Mustang, and Thunderbird.
You can hear a complete recording of Scheherazade in that time. That's Scheherazade, Scheherazade.
Ooh, that's a rough one.
For you.
Oh.
And when you go with Ford, you're going with a winner. The Mustang is the most successful car ever introduced.
Then it is your conviction that you're ahead in a Ford.
Indisputably. Ford. F-U-R-D. Wait, that's wrong. I'm out, right?
Right.
Right.
Nice night tonight.
Sure is. Just wish this cigarette was half as nice.
Well, here, try one of mine.
Okay. Say, this is a filter cigarette with real tobacco taste.
I know, but I'm getting a little tired of them.
Well, why don't you try one of mine?
Okay. Say, no filter.
Uh-huh.
This one has downright tobacco pleasure with mildness thrown in.
Yes, and without a filter.
Well, if a cigarette can deliver tobacco mildness without a filter, that's the one for me.
Oh, that's nonsense. The cigarette that lets honest tobacco taste come through a filter is the best cigarette.
Oh, yeah? Well, you can take me home right now.
I was just going to suggest that myself.
Excuse me.
Huh?
How do you two feel about instant pudding?
Instant pudding?
Kind of hard to keep lit, isn't it?
Somehow, when it comes to instant pudding, people don't expect too much. It shouldn't be that way. Try Royal Instant Pudding, all 7 flavors, and expect a lot. Royal. Try to feel strongly about it.
Inside a General Electric total washer is Captain Splash and his submarine no bigger than a soap bubble. His quest to find out why the GE total washer washes everything perfectly, when suddenly...
Hang on, men. This GE washer is going through the most vigorous of its 4 washing speeds.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Wait! Out there, that's a delicate blouse.
Oh, help! Save me!
Captain, is she going to pieces?
Don't look, men. It's too horrible.
Just a second. The blouse is writing a message. Put me in the mini basket.
Of course. The GE mini basket is for delicate fabrics that used to be washed by hand. Captain.
What?
How can a blouse write a message?
Must be a print blouse.
Oh, I think I'm going to be sick.
Will the mini basket get there in time to save the blouse? Will Captain Splash stop with his rotten jokes? Ask your GE dealer.
Hi, this is Herb Raffstein with a few words of importance. An American Cancer Society volunteer worker will soon ring your doorbell to give you a sticker that lists cancer's 7 warning signals. So guard those you love and paste the sticker inside your medicine
Hold it.
Cabinet. What's the matter?
Herb Raffstein, did you say your name was?
That's right. That's me.
Well, who are you? Why should I listen to you?
Because I'm saying something important. See, I'm talking about cancer's 7 warning signals.
Yeah, but you're nobody. If you were Audrey Hepburn, then it would mean something.
It takes Audrey Hepburn to make cancer's 7 warning signals important? Is
That's it. If you want people to paste this sticker in their medicine cabinets, you got to pretend you're Audrey Hepburn.
Nobody will believe I'm Audrey Hepburn.
Look, if you fool 10% of the people, it's better than nothing. Go ahead, try it.
Okay. Hi, this is Audrey Hepburn with some words. I feel pretty silly about that.
Yeah. You're more the Angie Dickinson type.
Hi, I'm Angie. You're not.
Hello, people. This is radio's most controversial program, The Hank Corden Show. Today's guests are the Dodge Boys.
Hello. Hi.
And we want you, the listening audience, to call them and discuss why they say...
Have no fear this year, the Dodge Boys are here.
Hello.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Oh, I just love the Dodge Boys.
Thank you.
And I love the white hats they wear.
Uh-huh.
Good guys always wear white hats.
That's about enough out of you. Hank Corden, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's catchy.
What?
Have no fear this year, the Dodge Boys are here.
Oh.
I bought a new Dodge Polara from one of them Dodge Boys, and it's a real snazzy car. Modern, exciting, and all that. And I got one of a fine deal.
Can't say that on the air, fella. Yeah?
Hey, smart mouth, did you just hang up on my wife a minute ago?
Yeah, so what?
I work for the phone company, and I'm cutting you off.
Oh, yeah?
We could have built the most remarkable hotel in Las Vegas if we had spent $13 million. But we didn't. We spent $25 million. The hotel is Caesar's Palace. Ever seen pictures of the fountains of Rome? We've got those kind of fountains. About 15 of them. In the driveway. We couldn't find a chandelier large enough for our casino, so we made the entire ceiling a crystal chandelier. It's impressive. But if you asked someone about Caesar's Palace, you wouldn't hear about fountains or chandeliers. You'd hear about action and fun and excitement. So maybe we should have saved the extra $12 million. We could have built 2 remarkable hotels. But neither would have been Caesar's Palace.
Epic Floor Wax from Armstrong presents another epic demonstration.
In the background, you hear the sound of television's famous Hugo Taylor dancers, who have been tap dancing on this floor for some 3.5 hours. Hugo?
Yes?
What are they doing?
Well, they're demonstrating one of Epic Floor Wax's features, the fact that it resists heel marks and it's tough to scratch.
Now, what's happening there?
The girls are forming the shape of a giant prune, and by moving their legs, they're making it wrinkle.
Now, that's what I call dancing.
Thank you.
Of course, Epic Floor Wax does other things besides resist scratches.
Right.
Epic from Armstrong does more things better than any other leading wax. Resisting scratches is just one thing.
That's true.
Now, let's check the floor for scratches.
I wouldn't go up there.
Well, there's nothing to worry about. I'm sure that the Epic Wax did...
No, the girls are going into there.
Precision kick. Gee, 48 feet right in the mouth.
Be listening for the next Epic demonstration.